Good morning and welcome all you beautiful souls. Welcome to the daily challenge. Today's daily challenge is a simple one, but it's also a very, very difficult one to do. So it's about being present and being aware of our thoughts and our speech. And the challenge for today is to not have any make any judgmental or critical comments about yourself or about anybody else or thoughts. So no judgmental or critical comments about yourself or in relation to anybody else. So just be aware of what you're saying, and if something does come up, pop into your mind, and you're about to say, oh, I don't really like the way she did that, just stop and change it before you let it out. So this is about being connected with unconditional love and being able to understand things from all perspectives. So we don't realise, we try not to have negativity and say negative comments or be negative or critical or judgmental about other people and about ourselves. But when we really start to focus and notice what our thoughts are and what we're saying, we'll be surprised how often those little criticisms pop in, or those judgments come up. And it's really, really important if we can recognise them before we actually voice them. So in other words, we're thinking before we're speaking. We're taking note of our thoughts and we're taking note of what's about to come out of our mouths. And we're listening very carefully to others too, so that we're just not forming a judgment or criticising somebody without actually getting the full gist of the story. For instance, you might come up with, she shouldn't have done that way. So that's really negative and really judgmental. Well, if that thought comes into your mind, you could just perhaps think, I might have done that a little bit differently. It's still a mild form of judgment, but it's a lot less negative than the first thing. You're just saying that you might have done it a little bit differently, but you're not saying that the other person should have done it deliberately. You're just looking at perhaps the way you might have handled it, and that's okay, as long as you're not going into deep criticism about the other person or about the way you have handled something. You can use your journal and jot down every time a negative thought comes in, or a judgmental or critical thought or action comes into mind. You can write that down so that you're aware. You'll actually be surprised. We think we're being non-judgmental, and we think that we're not being critical of others, and we're not going into a negative space about a lot of things. But when you start to truly pay attention, you can actually see that your mind can jump to those criticisms or those negative points or those judgments. So, it is what it is, and people are what they are. So the lesson in this is to not expect other people to see things how we see them, and not to judge them if they don't. And also not to expect ourselves to get everything right all the time. Not criticise ourselves if we think we haven't got it quite right. we may not have got it exactly right, but then through not getting it right, we've possibly learnt something or gained something in the process. So it's just about being present in your thoughts and your speech. Before you speak, think about what you're saying and think about where it's coming from. Is it coming from a heart-centered space? Or is it just popping into your mind, and are you just being critical or overzealous in your ideas about what other people should and shouldn't do? Are you making judgments about other people when you don't really know their full story? Or are you making judgments about yourself? So that's the challenge for today. Now, it sounds simple, and you know, I'm sure you think I can do that really easily, but it's not to be too severe on yourself either. It's just when those critical and judgmental thoughts pop into your mind, just take a breath and quickly stop it before you say it, or think about how you could perhaps put that in a different way so that it isn't judgmental, so that it's neutral. It's not either wrong or right. You're not saying what they're doing is right or wrong. You're just observing that they're doing a particular thing, and then you're not making a judgment. It's fine to be observant. It's fine to be discerning. You may not like everything everybody else does, and what they do may not be for you, and that's fine. And it's fine to think that you don't want to go along that path. The trick is not to condemn them for doing it. And it is, we think we're there, and we think we're coming from a place of compassion and understanding and seeing the whole bigger picture and understanding that it is what it is and people are what they are. But then when we're going through our lives, when we're an observer of ourselves and what we're actually thinking and saying, we'll be surprised at how many times little things pop up. And if they do, then it's just time to look at them and think, you know, well, was that an observation? Was it a discernment? Or was I just being judgmental or critical? And if you were, then you can retract it before you said it. Because once things are out and you've said things, you can't take them back. So that's why it's really important that we're really present when we're speaking to others, and we're really present when we're listening. Because if we're not really present, we only get part of the story. And if we're not being present when we speak, things can flow out of our mouths before we've actually assessed whether that's truly what we want to say, or whether it's coming out all wrong and obtaining a totally different meaning to the meaning that we wish to portray. But anyway, that's the challenge for today. It's not really difficult to do, but you might get a few little surprises along the way. And if you feel like journaling about it, well, that's good too. Otherwise, just be really present in your listening and your speaking. Okay, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that little challenge. If you did, give it the thumbs up, share and subscribe. Love to have some comments about how you find these challenges and if you find them helpful and what you actually notice after them. Now, you can't put a comment in unless you subscribe. And it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but it's good to get the comments back, and it gets other people looking at things from different perspectives as well. Okay, so that's it for today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, whatever you're doing. I'll be back tomorrow for the daily reading and a daily challenge. Whatever you do, have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself, whatever the weather's like and wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Just enjoy yourself and have fun. Okay, that's it for now. Love and blessings. Bye for now, Kath.